Hey guys, Meteorologist Chris Homer here with this morning mountain weather update. Before we get into the forecast, I just want to bring you up to speed as to where we are right now. Season to date totals after this big storm cycle across the west. Alyeska is still way out on top at 428, but within the lower 48, Alta and Snowbird are there at the top. Alta's 270, so closing in on 300. Solitude's doing really well. Timberline, after some really good storm systems, cracked 200 inches. Steamboat almost at 200 inches. You've had an amazing stretch now up there in northern Colorado, including Buffalo Pass. Grand Targhee up there. Jackson Hole sitting at about 178. Revelstoke doing well. Bachelor, look at Snowmass there at 155 so far. Vales at 153. Wolf Creek doing okay. Could use more snow. What else do we got here? Ajax is at 145. Loveland Ski Area cracked 100 inches. You're at 107. And Taos, Killington near the bottom. Could definitely use more snow in those areas. We've got another storm system on the way. I want to show you what it looks like right now, though. Pretty clear in Vail. It was crystal clear when I checked this camera last. You've had 3 to 4 feet of snow in the last 7 days. And there's another storm system coming. 117 and 118. Across the west. So let me just show you my latest bullet points headlines. Here's what I'm thinking this morning. That next storm system, 117 and 118, with a west-northwest flow. It's going to affect the Pacific Northwest, BC, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, and Colorado. Now, after that exits, it's a new pattern. It's a Pacific pattern, 119 through 124, maybe even 125. It's going to be warmer. We're going to have higher snow levels and a strong subtropical jet kind of moving things, moving pieces around the board. That's what's going to be the dominant player. All right, let me take you back. I want to show you water vapor satellite imagery here this morning, point out what's going on. So here's the next area of low pressure. You can kind of see it developing. That's what's going to move into the BC Pacific Northwest and then dive down the west-northwest orientation, the flow, and produce that snow. We're going to have good orographics across the Tetons, clipping the Wasatch, clipping the central and northern mountains of Colorado with some pretty decent orographics. Not huge in Colorado, but I'll show you what I'm thinking. And then this big area of low pressure back here is a large trough. That is all associated, and this dip in the jet is all associated with what's coming in 119 to 125, which will affect the west coast and spit some moisture into the interior, throw some moisture in through the interior Rockies. So all of that is in the forecast. Let me show you the forecast radar satellite. So that's the forecast this afternoon. Here comes our storm system. By tomorrow morning, you've got snow in BC, Banff, and Idaho, Montana, the Tetons, Wyoming, then eventually Colorado during the afternoon, evening hours. Snow hits the western slope, and the central and northern mountains continue to get beneficial snow into 118. Even in the afternoon, you've still got some snow left over. And then that storm system moves away. Here comes the pattern change. You can see what happens. It's mainly all west coast. That takes the brunt of the precip, but at times snow does get thrown into the interior, like right there on 121. Some snow into the Wasatch and western parts of Colorado. Notice the snow though through the Sierra. That snow is going to be pretty high elevation stuff. Probably 8,500 feet, so watch it play out one more time. I just went ahead and ran it again. Here's 119. Here comes the precip into California. By the time it hits the Sierra, probably 8,500 feet to 9,000 feet. So that's pretty high up. There's 121. Another batch of moisture rolls in, and then it comes to an end. All right, let's talk about the jet stream pattern here. Here's 117. Pretty good west-northwest orientation. That's that storm system which will produce that snow through the interior Rockies, 117, 118. By the time we get into 120, that's all over. New pattern, strong subtropical jet stream blowing warm air into the west, especially west coast. Even further down the road, 125, this is an amplified jet, but I'll tell you, when you look at the atmosphere, middle of the atmosphere and higher, there's no cold air in the lower 48, very little. So the cold air is locked up in Canada. Even though this is amplified, it's not bringing down cold air. You're still looking at a warmer type Pacific flow, and the temperatures would obviously cool down as a storm system moves through, but there's no big cold outbreak with this. Grand total snow, so 116 the rest of today through 125. About 30 inches to go, little cottonwood, so about 15 from the next storm and then 15 down the road from 119 and beyond. In Colorado, we'll split it up as well. So half of that probably comes on 117, 118, and then half of it comes 119 and beyond. Some decent snow for the Sierra. Again, that's going to be pretty high elevation by the time we get to 119 and beyond, above 8,500 feet. Anywhere you see the purple's over a foot, so you've got that up in Idaho, northwest Montana, Washington, BC. All of those areas are in for good snow, and a lot of that comes 117, 118. All right, let me zoom in on that. So again, grand totals, I-70 corridor north in Colorado. Again, probably half of this comes 117, 118, the other half 119 and beyond. And let's go a little further west. With this type of west-northwest orientation, typically doesn't hit Aspen, Snowmass, and Aspen Highlands all that hard. A little more in Crested Butte and a little more over Indy Pass. And that's a grand total map, 116 through 125. Let's do it by phase. So 116 through 118, you can see the numbers with that first storm system, mainly 117 and 118. Second phase captures 119 through 125. Sierra picks up about a foot at higher elevations. And again, this is a much warmer scenario here, higher snow levels, so the quality of the snow will change, 119 through 125. Let's go into the northeast. Grand total map 116 through 125. Not a lot of snow. You're going to get moderate accumulation today in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Some light snow on 118. And then potentially some moderate accumulations around 124 and 125. All right, guys, we'll end on the grand total map today. That will do it for this morning update. I hope everybody has a great day, had a wonderful weekend, and enjoy. We've got this one-day reprieve before the next storm system moves in. Take care, guys.